What's up, YouTube? Smells like Vin here. And, a couple days ago in English, I got assigned a project, to compare Greek tragedy and Shakespearean tragedy, with a modern tragedy. I'm going somewhere with this, don't worry. And, I decided to do The Death of Lane Staley, because tragic hero has a tragic fall, leads to his death. And to me, that's Lane Staley, the singer for Alice in Chains. So in celebration of that, if you couldn't already tell by the title, I'm going to talk about Dirt by Alice in Chains. Now, Alice in Chains were a band that were lumped in the whole grunge movement, the early 90s, with the Big Four being Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, and Soundgarden. And in my opinion, all those bands they're grunge, but they have another style that mixes in with that. For example, I always thought Nirvana kind of had a punk feel to them in certain songs. And you know, classic rock, I think, is a lot of Pearl Jam stuff. And when it comes to Alice in Chains, they are, I think, more of a metal band than they are a grunge band, which, you know, opinion. But Dirt is an album that is basically from the perspective of a junkie, of a desperate drug addict, which was Lane Staley. And the thing about this record is when you hear these lyrics, and you hear the hopelessness in the lyrics, it's almost kind of scary, because you know years down the line Staley would die of his drug abuse. So knowing that, this album is very eerie, very sad, and very depressing, but it's a fantastic album. So, the sound of the album is a lot different than the band's previous album, Facelift. The riffs are much more heavier. There's a bigger emphasis on distortion and kind of feedback. There's not the simplicity, in my opinion, that Facelift has. These songs get very open, very progressive, and very big. You know what I mean? They have a big sound, and because of that, I think there's this epicness that kind of the lyrical content brings out, and vice versa. Vocal-wise, Lane Staley has a great way of being able to express everything he's trying to say through vocal melodies. I mean, a lot of these songs have sick, weird-sounding vocal melodies. Songs like Them Bones, Damn That River, Sick Man, especially in that chorus, which is a weird kind of word to use for it, but just really, really strange vocal melodies that further bring the music down and makes it even more dirty and kind of wretched sounding than it already is. Another thing is the riffs. The riffs are great. Every riff is memorable. There's some wah-wah applied to it, especially in songs like Rain When I Die. That's the really primal, use of the wah pedal. But I feel like Jerry Cantrell further supplements his riffs with the wah-wah pedal, rather than ruining them or overusing it, which I feel like some guitarists use the wah-wah pedal too much, but Jerry totally doesn't. He finds a middle, ground. The production is great. It's not super clean, but it's clear. You can hear everything that's going on, and obviously that's important because there's a lot of things going on in the album, so you're going to want to hear everything that's going on. Drums are up front, everything's great. there's not even that much reverb in the mix either. It's kind of a dry album for the most part. So yeah, production fits the sound perfectly. Flow it's one of those albums where you can't really talk about the flow because there's no songs that interrupt it, but there's also not a flow. It's kind of, I know that didn't really make much sense. It's kind of just one song, again, after the other, and it flows good, but there's really not much to say about it. It's just a good flowing album. And again, man, like the lyrics are just, from Sick Man. I can see the end is getting near. I will not stop until my head is clear. Just really depressing lyrics. And it like I said, the music brings out that lyrical content. And it's a very uneasy, paranoid kind of album. And I think it really sets up what would happen later, and that's why I picked to do my project on Lane Staley, because I love the guy. He's just totally awesome, or was. And I really think it's a real tragedy. Someone gets hooked on drugs and they're fucked. You know what I mean? They're totally fucked. And he said it multiple times. And in this album, you get that. Favorite song is tough. That's really, really hard. Yeah, I really can't pick a favorite song. I can tell you some ones I love, though. Them Bones, absolutely classic song. Great vocal melody. Great riff. Easy riff, but great riff. I don't want to say easy, but it's a simple riff, but it's effective. I'm not half the guitar player that Jerry Kentrell is, so. Damn That River, again, great riff. Really good drums, too. I love the drum beat. Down in a Hole is the primary use of acoustic guitar. A lot softer than the rest of the songs, but still great. Sick Man, fantastic drum beat in the beginning of that song. Fantastic use of toms. It's great. What else? Oh, Dirt, title track. By far the most straightforward song lyrically. Talks a lot about suicide, talks a lot about, just wanting to get out of the situation that Staley was in at the time, and in my opinion culminates the whole sound of Dirt. Godsmack is another awesome song. It doesn't have anything to do with the band. Really sick vocals on that song. Lane Staley, he's almost trembling, like his voice is going like this as he's like singing, and it's really weird. The first time I heard that song, I was like, oh man, it's fantastic. My least favorite song on this album is Iron Gland. And good thing is, it's not even a song, really. It features Tom Araya from Slayer, that's pretty cool. And it's just a bunch of noise and a rip-off of Black Sabbath's Iron Man. Instead of saying, I am Iron Man, it's I am Iron Gland. Just a short little interlude, and it serves its purpose, but it's more or less filler. So, honestly, I could give this album a 9.5. Maybe even higher. I love it. I think it's great. It's a very sad, tragic album in my opinion, because it shows the helplessness and sadness of drug addiction, and especially Lane Staley's drug addiction, knowing he would succumb to it in 2002, same day as Nirvana's Kurt Cobain, just like years later. So, yeah, have a great Memorial Day, everybody. 3-day weekend. Awesome. And, thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and I will see you guys next time.